Hey guys, I was just thinking about the DCEU recently, as in the last 30 minutes, and this just got me thinking again. I mean, everyone said it, right? But I think I want to say it again because I feel like I kind of cooked a little bit with this comparison. But just, I don't like the DCEU, as you've probably seen on this channel in the past, like, 10 videos. Not every single one, but I think one of them, they got a little bit of conversation in the comments. I don't know. Um, but I just wanted to make this quick comparison of the timeline, because why not? Here's the thing. So the DCEU, EU, obviously, the old one, but it started with Man of Steel, 2013, right? Great movie. Hit it off. I mean, obviously Superman's a bigger character, but I couldn't think of anyone better to do, just compare it to Iron Man, right? I mean, obviously Iron Man was like C-list, right? People liked him. Some really like comic fans knew him, but general public didn't. I mean, obviously, general public knows Superman, and you knew that was a Superman movie. But, anyways, both these movies generally successful, I might say. Iron Man's a little bit more successful of a movie, at least critically, but Man of Steel definitely worked. But that's, I mean, if they started at the same time, it would just be competition the whole way, right? But for some reason, Warner Brothers thought, as far as I know, Warner Brothers thought competition right away, almost. So 3 years passed because they cannot put a movie out. I don't know why. I forget why. I listened. I know there were troubles. I definitely heard about it. I forget right now. I'm not gonna try to know because I forget. But there were complications, right? And that definitely hit them. That hurt them. And it's really interesting. I forget. It must have been like a podcast where like I heard some insiders from Warner Brothers or DC talk about this, and it was so interesting. Recommend you like learn, like, I forget what it is. But anyways, it's just a fun, really like interesting story here. That's 2013. Iron Man premiered in 2008. I'm saying, imagine, so Batman versus Superman comes out, and obviously you can't literally compare them, but I'm saying, imagine Iron Man 2008, 2011, because Batman vs Superman comes out in 2016. Imagine 2011, Captain America: Civil War comes out. There's no Captain America movie, no two movies beforehand, no Ultron, no Avengers, just Batman vs Superman. Dawn of Justice. That's kind of my problem with Batman vs Superman. But that's really what I wanted to mainly hit on, and I'm not going to talk about that too much more because I could go on forever about it. And I would go in circles a little bit, but I would go on forever. So then, just to just kind of look at the hilarity of it, it's like, so Suicide Squad 2016. Obviously, Suicide Squad is a much bigger IP at DC. But for the purposes of what the team does and what the team is, this is like if Marvel did Iron Man 2008, Batman vs Superman, Captain America: Civil War 2011. Later in 2011, Thunderbolts, third movie. 2017, we get a Black Widow movie. Black Widow appeared in Captain America: Civil War, which was really just Captain America versus Iron Man. I know Batman vs Superman and Captain America are different events, so they're not very comparable, but let's just say Black Widow appeared during Iron Man versus Captain America: Civil War, second movie, as the third hero to come and help fight Fin Fang Foom, the Iron Man villain, because they believed Iron Man was causing too much destruction in Iron Man 1, for, let's just say, right? Oh, she gets her movie. It's a flashback movie about, let's say it's the Red Room, right? And obviously it makes sense. You should do this, right? Great movies. All right, but that's the fourth movie of the whole thing. Okay. All right, but the third movie was Thunderbolts, and the second was Captain America: Civil War. The first one was Iron Man. Fourth movie. Now, 4 years after the first one. So now we're at a ratio of 1 per year, but that's not really the case. We have the Avengers. After Iron Man, Captain America: Civil War, Thunderbolts, and Black Widow. And like, regular fans that consume comic book media all the time would be like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like, I would like that. Yeah, but it doesn't make sense. You're not. If you were the person making the story, you would do kind of more what Marvel Studios did. You would do good movie to get people's attention, strong IP, sequel of good movie to make sure everyone's on board. Test out the waters with the lesser known hero. Stronger IP. Not as strong as the Hulk, but stronger IP team up movie. Sprinkling in Clint Barton for eagle eyed fans, Nick Fury for eagle eyed fans, and Black Widow for eagle eyed fans, as well as War Machine, with a new original character in almost every movie to tie it together, right? That's what you would probably. That sounds smart, right? And like, sure, maybe you would show up for Iron Man, Captain America, Civil War, Thunderbolts, and Black Widow, and then Avengers. Yeah, like that sounds all right. But it's like, which one sounds smarter? All right, and then it's like, 2018. Or I guess this is now 5 years after 2008, so I guess this would be like 2013, right? Right? Yeah, I think. I'm sorry if like my brain's gone stupid and can't do simple math. They released Thor, right? Aquaman, people don't usually take him too seriously. People didn't really know about Thor too much ish, because like the most general public did not like probably take Thor or Aquaman seriously before the movies came out. Obviously, they knew he was a comic character, both of them, and comic book fans knew about them. Yeah, same with Iron Man, but like, yeah, but it's like, oh yeah, they make Thor like very visually compelling, and like it's not the worst movie. And what the Black Widow movie was very good, and the Thunderbolts movie wasn't really good. And like you can't really argue too much with Captain America: Civil War or especially Iron Man. But a lot of people just have their things with them, especially more with the Civil War movie. All right, and I couldn't draw a really great comparison, at least within like a really quick time. I did not want to go and research it too much, so I just said okay. Then it's like next year. I guess this would be 2014 now, after 2008, as their 7th movie. They do like a Doctor Strange. Just pull out like a thing that like less people know. Obviously comparing this to Shazam, it's actually a pretty decent movie. People don't really take it seriously because of the time it came out and just kind of what it was. But yeah, and at this point, it's like the movies aren't bad. It's just like, why is our 7th movie Doctor Strange when we've had one Iron Man, one Captain America, one Black Widow, one Thor, a Thunderbolts, and an Avengers? Why is our 7th movie like Doctor Strange? Shouldn't be doing like some sequels in here, right? So then we finally get a sequel. I mean, yes, Batman vs Superman was kind of a sequel to Iron Man, right? Except that, sorry. I'm confused them, twist my brain. I'm trying to make comparisons, but I'm not. When I'm talking about the solo things, when I'm talking about the solo things, I'm not crossing out the comparisons. Sorry, that's my side tangent. Batman vs Superman. People might even say it's a sequel to Man of Steel in a way, because it kind of is. The way that Civil War heavily like relies on the events of Age of Ultron, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, what's so interesting, Batman vs Superman says Batman's name first, but you're probably not going to catch me calling that a Batman movie because the main villain is not a Batman villain, and this is not a story about Batman. For the most of this movie, we are following Superman. This movie acts more as a Superman sequel, but people are really not going to call this Superman 2 at all. It's just its own movie, I think, to a lot of people. I mean, I don't know. But I think it's so interesting because it really there's not a lot of Batman moments. Batman is not around for most of the movie. He's hiding in the shadows. He has some cool moments near in Act 2 and Act 3, but I feel like the character should be present as a big figure in Act 1. And right, Lex Luthor isn't a Batman villain. So it's not really a Batman movie. Even though his name's first, because it's Dawn of Justice. Whatever, you know what? Just call it Dawn of Justice. Scratch out Batman vs Superman, just make it Dawn of Justice. Man of Steel, Dawn of Justice. But how are you gonna bring people in, right? You have to make it Batman vs Superman. But at this point, I'd call it Superman vs Batman. Because in this movie, we're not even framing Superman to be a villain. The only person that's literally framing Superman to be a villain is Batman for a little bit, and Lex Luthor. Just call it Superman vs. Batman. Superman's face is on the left side of the poster. Sorry, this is like the umpteenth tangent here, but I'm just saying that like 7 movies into the DCEU, we have not gotten a proper sequel. And Justice League is essentially a Batman vs. Superman sequel, except Batman and Diana are the leading figures of the film, and then like there's like 3 more people because like Superman isn't there for most of the movie, and they don't do a lot. They're not main characters in the movie. I'm not calling Cyborg, Aquaman, or Barry, or the Flash. I'm not calling them main characters at all. I don't know if I call Wonder Woman and Batman. It's just really just an ensemble film. That's not a great ensemble film. Like at least compared to like the Suicide Squad or Guardians of the Galaxy, better ensemble films. Avengers, a better ensemble film. Anyways, so Jillian's tangent out of the way. 7th movie is not a sequel. Like, and they really have no good sequel that acts like a sequel in a sequel's right. Just go on like a Jillionth other tangent. I just want to kind of pull up something just so I can kind of reference it. I have not seen a ton of sequels, but like let's look at some like good sequels, right? Dune 2, Godfather 2. I know those people say those are great sequels. I think everyone can say Hunger Games Catching Fire is a great sequel. If you've seen both those, you know that's a good sequel, right? Across the Spider-Verse, great sequel. Oh my gosh. My personal opinion, Home Alone 2. I think a little bit of people disagree with that, but that's fine. The Dark Knight, yeah. Puss in Boots 2, yeah. You're not really gonna disagree. Those are bad sequels. I would say, what else is a good sequel? At least like perfect sequels, like great. Like obviously, like yeah, Guardians 2 is like a solid sequel. Yeah, even Empire Strikes Back. You know what? Spider-Man 2 is not a bad sequel either. Personal opinion, I don't think Minions Rise of Gru is a bad sequel. Whatever. Let me just. I just feel like kind of like having a point and proving it for fun. So give me like a hot second, like really freaking quick, because I'm going on here and I'm ranting for like as long as I want to. Right? Like, okay, like, oh yeah, Lord of the Rings 2, people like that. Too Fast, people think that's solid-ish. Blade Runner 2049. I don't know if there's a Blade Runner 2, like, I don't know. But that's a great sequel, right? Yeah, that doesn't have a sequel. Terminator 2, a great sequel. Aliens, not a bad sequel, I think. I think John Wick 2, I think, is a solid sequel. X-Men 2, solid sequel. Toy Story 2, solid sequel. Shrek 2, great sequel. Everyone will know that. What else? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? People like the yeah. What else? Top Gun Maverick, great sequel. Glass Onion 2, people like that. They think that's solid. Looking at these lists. Paddington 2, right? You're not gonna disagree with that. People usually think Captain America 2 is better. You know what I mean? So it's just like there's so many sequels, you know, that are like literally better than the first one. High School Musical 2. I mean, first one's like great, but like you know what I mean? Where it's just like it's literally like yeah, you can name at least like 3 sequels that are better than that one. or even the list expands when you just say sequels are like all right, and like can hold its own, or like those sequels that like still kind of capture what the first one was doing, and still have a little bit of magic or a little like nostalgia, right? Or like because there's like sequels that like maybe they're not like perfect, but they do like they follow the formula that the first one has set, and you're like, yeah, that was solid. Like that's what I would call like Guardians 2 and Home Alone 2. And I don't think even like there is no formula followed, or even like Iron Man 2, or like you know what I mean, or like Thor 2, or like Cap 2. Thor 2 is the worst of those examples, but you can go from Thor 1 from Thor 1 to Thor 2, and you can be like, I see why this is a sequel, because it has Thor and Loki, and then like while Odin, Sif, and the Warriors 3 were like there for little bits of time in Heimdall, they show up again, while Darcy and Eric, and Darcy and Eric, they all show up. We get these characters showing up, like many characters in the first one showing up. Despicable Me 2. That's not like a great sequel by any means. I mean, it's so iconic. I will stand by that. I think there's so much nostalgia tied to that to me. Ryan talks about sequels for 4 minutes. But all the daughters show up, and all the minions show up, and Nefario shows up. So you're like, and it's about villains, and it follows the first one because she is making an improvement in his life because the daughters changed him. So you're like, okay, I see where this is going. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? So I'm just kind of like, okay, like I'm sitting here and I'm sitting here like, it's like, okay, so I'm following the DCEU, right? And it's like, okay, so like, there's literally no sequel with that where it's like multiple returning characters, right? Because there's not even like that many characters besides Lois to even return, and like Perry White from Man of Steel, because Superman hadn't like had his own at the end of the movie. Like he didn't like have a family to, like, you know what I mean? Like Iron Man 2, we get Happy, we get Potts, we get Jarvis, and we get Iron Man, and then we get Rhodey again. So it's like that's at least 5 characters, even including the main one. So 4 extra characters that come back. We get like Lois. We get like we get Perry White, and maybe we get like a I forget if we get Mrs. Kent, right? Maybe. So that's like 3. And that's like, okay, that's not enough to call it a sequel, and we're not having the same tone as a sequel, and sure, we're following the first one, but the focus isn't Superman here. The point here that follows the first one is like we don't see Superman being Superman when he comes back, in a way, and I'm not in a way that like even I don't even mean that like to try to criticize Henry Cavill's Superman, which I like will do, and I will love doing that. But what I mean is that like, yeah, like we see Superman like being a hero after the first one, and he's doing stuff in the Middle East, and he's learning his way, but we should have at least a few moments of that, like a few different kinds of that. We maybe like, I don't care if it's a montage. Sometimes I can like hate montages. I'm not gonna hate a montage if it's in lieu, like if it's to develop the character, right? But we're not doing that. As far as I remember, we're throwing Superman in, doing some superhero stuff in the Middle East. Yeah, maybe he's talking to Lois, and yeah, Lex was involved in that. I don't even remember. As far as I remember, is our first appearance of Lex. So it's not even a reappearance of Lex, and that's the problem, where it's like the antagonistic force of this movie, the threat of this movie, should tie into the first movie if this is a Superman sequel. The threat of this movie is that they think Superman's a god. He's not, but he's not saying too much about it. Well, I mean, he kind of is. Well, that's the whole thing, is you can't really argue against it. He's not showing his mortality enough, which is weird. But maybe he's moody and emotional. But anyways, because he's a small town boy from Kansas. But if he shows that, anyways, but you have, there's a way to tell people, like just even taking this to real life. This is a story about Superman the alien, right? Because he is in the DCEU, and it's like, he is always, but it's like, in real life, if you're going to tell people that aliens are good people, right? People from another, like, if you're going to tell xenophobes that aliens are not coming for your livelihoods, see where I'm going here? You have to show them that they can be humans too. And there's certain ways to do that. And the DCEU did not do that. And I'm just saying, we could have had a montage. And I'm not saying a montage would have fixed everything, but it's like, okay. Well, and then it's also, there was no theme here of like, I am a good guy. I need to show them this, right? Because the whole thing of Superman, this as a sequel, if you're calling a sequel following Man of Steel, is we should have Superman be like, yeah, I just literally saved our planet from being terraformed. I'm a good guy. I love this planet now. He should show that. He should say that. And I don't think he does. I could be wrong, but he doesn't show that to the people. And you have to make a connection. And you should have done that in some way by now. And I'm not saying, oh, you're wrong for not doing that, but it's also like, if you don't do that, which you can in really quickly, it's not a good sequel. And I not even mean it's a bad sequel. I mean, it does not have enough for me to call it a sequel, because it's like, we're not even properly following up the first one, where it's like, okay, I that's why I really think this is kind of like an inter movie. It falls between Batman and Superman, and not in a good way, where like, this could definitely be a Superman sequel if we did a few more things, which is kind of what I'd want it to do if there was a Batman movie first. Which is just really what I would do. It's like in a perfect world, it'd be like, if you really want to have it third, Superman, Batman versus Superman. Obviously, I think maybe we'd throw in like another movie in there. I don't even care what it is. It could be any DC character at all. It could be the Creature Commandos. I don't care. Anyways, it's just like, again, the 7th movie in here, no sequel, and we're gonna get to sequels in here that might not be good sequels, but you'll see that they are sequels, right? So anyways, and it's Doctor Strange, because it's like, no one really cares about that, a little silly, whatever. Obviously people care about Doctor Strange because it's an MCU movie, and people, but it's like, that would be the case. I'm trying to make a comparison quickly. Movie 8, I tried to actually a tiny bit of research to think what could this be, just for context. This is now, we said Shazam or Doctor Strange, quote, in this MCU DCU would be what, like, like 2014? No. Yes. Yeah, 2014. So this is now 2015, what is it, like 8 years after Iron Man, our 8th movie, one movie a year, which is with Iron Man, which the MCU was not doing. The 8th movie was Iron Man 2 or Thor 2, depending on which one it was. I forget, but that was 5 years after. It's like over 2 a year, I think. Right? If it's 8 in 5 years, I mean 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, no, 8 and 6 years, which does come out a little bit more evenly. It's like 1.25, I think. Because there was one, there were 2 and 08, none and 09, 2 and 11, no, 2 and 08, none and 09, 1 and 10, 2 and 11, 1 and 12, question mark? And at least 2 and 13. And that's just me trying to remember, but I'm just saying that that's kind of essentially what it was. 8th movie in 8 years. Not great for DC/Warner Brothers. And this is, I tried to, hold on. You're gonna have to hold on to me for a second. I'm saying this is Taskmaster. They made a movie about Taskmaster. Obviously Taskmaster is an older hero in Marvel. I'm just gonna just a few minutes or less try to just at least acquaint you to why I made this comparison. Obviously, Taskmaster is an older hero in an older character in Marvel Comics, but I looked for a character that could play anti-hero where, like, in some small, not many cases, but like very, very few, Taskmaster could maybe be a hero. It's the same with Birds of Prey. Not many cases hardly can be a hero, but now they're starting to write her as one. Taskmaster is generally a villain. I feel like there's, if I can't say this is true, but I feel like they could make Taskmaster a villain, a hero in a few stories, just based on how badass he is. He's got that like Craven kind of Venom, kind of like, he's a villain, but I'll follow him around as a hero for a movie. Sure, why not? Kind of deal. I don't know if you agree, but like that's my take. Like I would follow him around as a hero for a movie. Where this is a hero that like probably should not be in the Suicide Squad, but some writer put him in there, or should not be in the Thunderbolts, but one writer put him in there, and now the audience saw it and they love it. Same thing where like I don't think he should be in the Thunderbolts, based on just I feel like what I've seen generally. Maybe he's been in an issue or two. Same with Harley Quinn, maybe in an issue or two, but now someone put him in there. Audiences love it. I think audiences could love Taskmaster. Taskmaster is a great actor. Yeah, that could be fun, and a Taskmaster movie could be fun. But essentially, this would be like a mediocre movie, like that audiences kind of love, and it's kind of iconic, kind of a cult classic among the people that like actually like it, right? And then that's at like the start of the year of what would I say? This is like 2015. 2015. Very end of the year, we're doing like finally getting our first actual sequel, Black Widow. And you know why this is a sequel? Because the love interest shows up again, just to kind of draw this back to Batman vs Superman. And it's still a period piece. And I just don't think the general public takes Batman vs Superman. I couldn't tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think the general public takes Batman vs Superman as a Superman sequel enough. They just call it Batman vs Superman. Yeah, and it's like, okay, but Wonder Woman 84, it's called Wonder Woman. It has the same title but a little bit different. And we get more classic stuff for the character. She uses a different weapon more. This would be like him using a different power more. Gets a suit upgrade. He doesn't get a suit upgrade. We see the invisible jet, so it's more fan service for fans of the character. He doesn't get upgrades here. A sequel. There's new fun for the character. Sequels have bits of fun for the character. I don't think Superman gets bits of fun. If Batman vs Superman was a Superman sequel. Anyways, and then it's like, next year when we're not getting a lot of stuff, it's like a director's cut of Avengers, if Avengers didn't do well. Because here, we haven't done many Avengers movies, any movies with really any Avengers besides Aquaman, and I guess not Wonder Woman, but they're not making new waves or whatever the phrase is. So we're getting a director's cut of the Avengers, and everyone loves it. Got I think it got an Oscar nomination for Best Moment, which wasn't an official award, but we were in 2021, man. We were starving for something. So then later that year, when society was kind of fixed itself, you know, I feel like ZSJL, Zack Snyder's Justice League, came out very beginning of the year, if I remember correctly. Suicide Squad, I remember, came out in August. Or, yeah, I think it came out within 3 months of Wonder Woman 84, which came out at the, like, end of December of 2020. Anyways, this would be, like, just the Thunderbolts, if the Thunderbolts movie was, like, a bad movie, and this one was, like, everyone kind of agrees it's, like, a pretty nice movie. It's getting pretty late in the afternoon. This is a long-ass sitting down at a desk kind of thing. Oh my gosh, this is like a podcast. What the fuck? I did not mean to do this. So then it's like, okay, we're getting, I said this is like, then it's like, okay, MCU gets under new ownership, and it's like, yeah, we have like 5 movies we're working on. We're just going to give you them, basically, but we're also going to drop one of them. Okay, so it's like, okay, so we dropped this, like a Winter Soldier movie, right? Or a Falcon movie. You know what? It would probably be like a Falcon movie. We made it like a Falcon movie. We stopped making it though. Right? And then for tax write-offs, it's what Marvel did. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? Anyways, and then we get like a, if Shazam was Doctor Strange, which I don't think is the best comparison, but I didn't want to think about it too hard. This is like getting a Mordo movie, where it's like, obviously Black Adams is a much more iconic character. Doctor Strange does not have a big host of villains. He does not have a rogues gallery. I mean, neither does Shazam, but Black Adam's popular enough. That this would be like that. You know, getting a movie of of Doctor Strange's biggest villain. If you have a better comparison for Shazam, let me know. I mean, for Shazam to the MCU, let me know in the comments what you think. But obviously, it's like the costume is similar, so it's kind of like a spin-off, you know? I don't even know if Batman vs. Superman is a spin-off. Like, I don't know what to call it. Shazam 2? Yeah, that has the Shazam, his powers, and even though the Billy and Shazam, Zachary Levi, Asher Angel, which one is Asher Angel? Is he actually Billy Batson? Did I use the right word? I don't want to use the right word because I know there's another kid. Yes, Asher Angel is Shazam. Good. I know the disparity between the two was like really riveting, but it's like, hey, this is about Billy growing up and taking on the role of Shazam later. Batman vs. Superman's main theme was how the public sees Superman, but not about Superman changing. It should be the character should be changing, and he was changing slightly, but that wasn't what the movie was mainly about. And then it's like we're getting like if I said Aquaman was Thor, the Flash, like us getting a Hulk movie, super popular character. We're just finally getting a movie now because it was in development hell. And then I said, you know what, we need like a D-lister, C-lister. This is like the Blue Beetle. It's like us getting the Vision movie. And finally, we're releasing lots of movies per year because like now, for some reason, we just can do it. I know there was COVID. But nothing stop us from releasing Birds of Prey at the beginning of the year, Wonder Woman 84 at the beginning of 2020, Justice League at the beginning of 2020. We literally dropped 2 movies per year in 2020 and 2021. Meanwhile, Marvel dropped 0 movies in 2020, but it still held its ass together, at least critically. I mean, Marvel held its ass. DC held its ass. DC, no, because here's the thing. Get into the pandemics. Internet gets politically fired up. They're not like on Birds of Prey. And then Wonder Woman 84 was not the best movie, literally, because of monkeypox stuff. So that didn't do too well, but people are like, okay, they're solid enough for me to like try out, you know, like, but like any sort of like Zack Snyder's Justice League, people like went crazy for it. Then the Suicide Squad was like solid, but then it like fell off, and then it's like, okay, for the last movie in the MCU, oh my gosh, sorry, backtrack. This was like, and then I forgot even to think about this. But Black Adam came out, or whatever we're calling it, like Mordo, like Doctor Strange's biggest villain. Movie coming out at the end of 2022, which would be like, I don't know, like 2017 for the MCU. And by the way, this is like the like 10th movie in the MCU. Doctor Strange's biggest villain. Right before that, we're getting our first Marvel Cinematic Universe show, and this is a D-lister from our The Suicide Squad. Even more like maybe E-list if we're calling Blue Beetle D-list. But this is, yeah, so I don't even know. This is like us getting like literally like Marvel's Crossbones, the series, right? Or you know what I meant was actually, you know, yeah, Marvel's Crossbones would actually be like nice because, you know, you get to watch Frank Grillo do his stuff. But like Marvel, when I said that, I was kind of talking about oh my gosh, what's his name? What's his brother? I know he has a brother. Does he not have a brother? There's this, okay. Sorry, I didn't know this. WandaVision. You guys know what I'm thinking about? It's that there was an Easter egg for him in WandaVision episode 2. No. In the opening credits. Yep. What's that character's name? Like, it's not Apocalypse, because that's a place in the DC in the DC universe. The people? Yeah, I mean, people thought she could be Agatha Harkness all along. Yes, Grim Reaper. Yes, it's like having like a Grim Reaper, like a Crossbone series, which is like what Peacemaker was like right before that big the series. And like the last movie in the MCU, it's like our like 15th movie is like literally it's like Thor 2. Do you see like how stupid that is? That's just kind of my big rant. I mean, my podcast length rant. Please watch. It's on 2x speed. Thanks for like literally listening. This was rough. I was mad and went on like lots of tangents, but like I think you guys kind of get now, hopefully, if you didn't already know, or if you just wanted to like sit down for 45 minutes and agree with me. It was stupid. And I mean, obviously there was lots of mismanagement stuff, and like if you listen to the DCEU story, like, yeah, it's really entertaining to listen to, because it's like, wow, that's crazy. They managed that poorly, but there was also like lots of problems going on. But yeah, so yeah, that's just like my thoughts on how stupid it is.